to register your page, your Facebook pages, register your Instagram, add any users you want onto the account, and bring in or set up your ads managers. That's important to do advertising. You need to, and the business manager, I get hung up on the words myself. Business manager, ads manager. The business manager, not the business page, the business manager is what is the highest level in the hierarchy that lets you manage all of that under one roof. Okay? You can manage your ads manager, you can manage your Instagram. It's got a creative studio in there. You can do your pixels and your retargeting. You can do a lot in there. It's all free, but it's very important. I work with a lot of you on an individual basis to get set up on that. You're all going to want to write that down. There's probably very few already set up on that. And there's plenty of YouTube videos and everything. It's important that you get set up on that moving forward after today.
Say that again, please. What was the name?
It's business.facebook.com.
And that's critical.
We're not going to go down the rabbit hole with that because I've done entire 2-hour training sessions just on Facebook Business Manager. So I don't want to get too hung up on that, but you can ask me later. Everybody always asks me about it. You might not be able to set it up right here. It's actually pretty simple when you know how to do it, but sometimes it gets hung up because people have different accounts all over the place with different logins. That's why in my experience it gets a little bit tricky.
Real quick, so I have my business account and my Facebook personal account. I have them, their name. So you recommend that I have another account just for my business?
So it's a good question. So just to review, you got a hierarchy. I think of it like a hierarchy. On the bottom, you got your Facebook profile. That's you, the person. Me, Steve, the person. Sandy, the person. Ray, the person. My Facebook profile. Then you can make pages on top of that Facebook profile, right? And that's Steve the Realtor, Ray the Realtor, Sandy the Realtor. I think it's the same. On top of that, you have an ads manager. The ads manager lets you can have as many business pages you want, by the way. You can have one for tennis, one for basketball, one for real estate, one for another business you have, a fashion brand that you have, let's say. And you can keep them all separate. On top of that, you have an ads manager or multiple ads managers. You might have one for each of those pages. They're connected. They should be connected to the page. So profile, business page, ads manager, and then on top of all of that is the business manager. And that administrates all of that. So it's pretty simple for most of us, but you can imagine if you're an ad agency or you're hiring ad agencies, you have multiple brands, the business manager lets you manage all of that under one umbrella. So that's the difference between the business manager and the business pages. You guys all might have multiple pages. I work with a lot of realtors that have an old one, it's defunct, maybe you haven't used it in a while, I made a new one, I made one for a different area, maybe if you specialize in a farming area, it's not unusual to do a separate business page just for that farming area and another one for another niche. Like your niche, right, Sammy? Make a different Facebook page just for that. But it should all be managed by the Facebook Business Manager. Business.facebook.com. We're going to move on because I know it's kind of a rabbit hole, but there's plenty of documentation on that, and you can ask us afterwards more about that. But that's kind of
the next item was Instagram. I don't know if all of you know this, but Instagram is now part of Facebook. So a lot of times when you're posting on Instagram, you can actually add your Facebook account and your Twitter account and I think one or two others. There's also apps like Ripple that actually can connect all your different accounts, LinkedIn and things like that, and send posts as well. And once again, we're not going to go into that in detail, but it's very, very important to have that set.
In my experience, most of you guys have an Instagram profile. It's kind of unusual that a realtor doesn't have one. The big question I always get is, what do I post on my Instagram profile? Do I post a labradoodle? Do I post basketball pictures? Do I post real estate that I've just closed or other people's listings? We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But what you guys don't usually have, it's rare for me to find a realtor that I work with that has a YouTube channel, much less an active YouTube channel. It's rare to even find one that even has a YouTube channel. So I'd like to see all of you guys, all the way back there, one of your pieces of homework is to make a YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel, Sammy?
I do, but
You do?
I do.
You should totally have a YouTube channel. You definitely, yeah. So we're gonna talk a lot about, lead generation part, the third part, about how to generate your own leads, content marketing, video marketing, making your own content. You need all these platforms so that when we make content, we got distribution channels to put it on. Okay?
LinkedIn, we talked about LinkedIn a little bit earlier. Very important, has a lot of information on there. Gary Vaynerchuk is talking a lot about LinkedIn because it is a resource that a lot of people don't use. They think, oh, that's when I need a job or something like that. But it is very important to have an active LinkedIn account with your information. Once again, try to keep everything the same on all of them. If you can do the same name, it's important. That helps with SEO also. But try to have the same picture. Try to have the same background. Because when people start seeing that over and over again, that helps to bring that parity together across all your content.
When I work with you guys are pretty good about LinkedIn. Most realtors that I work with have a LinkedIn profile. Most are not real active in it, but if I connect with you, you'll say thanks, let's connect a week later. Checking in, I notice. And I'm guilty of the same thing. But what you guys should all know is you get a ton of organic reach with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really easy, in other words, to reach people for free without paying for it. Facebook used to be that way 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Post anything on Facebook, you could reach 1,000. You can't do that anymore. Now you're reaching 10 if you're lucky. Otherwise, you gotta pay for it. LinkedIn is behaving now the way that Facebook was behaving back in 2010, 2012. Ton of organic reach, great place to start posting content because the free reach that you'll get, it's a supply and demand thing. They got bigger pipes and more supply and more demand, I should say, than they have supply of content to fill those pipes up with. So you put content on there, they will put it out in the pipes and distribute it to people for free.
Good question. What's the difference between the LinkedIn personal and
LinkedIn, like Facebook, has a profile and a business page. So that's a good question. I didn't point that out, but same kind of thing. LinkedIn, I think of it like Facebook for business and business people. Sort of behaves the same way and set up the same way. But yeah, that's a good point. You should have most all of you have a personal account, but you should probably make a business account too, a business page for your real estate business.
Remember, the more places you're on, the more Google's going to see you as a larger entity. Obviously, a lot of these huge companies, they have all kinds of accounts and all kinds of
but it's like to create a new one or in there you have the option to do like the Facebook one?
Well, like Facebook, a business page has to be connected
okay.
to a person.
Good, how are you?
And they did,
Yes, yes.
do it by itself. So you have to make your personal profile,
Good.
almost all you guys have. And then it's just a matter of making a business page. It's just a one click. And then on that business page, then you're gonna set up your description. That's less about you, but now you got your description that you already made, so you can plug that in. It speaks directly to your audience, your niche, what my differentiators are, this is who I am in the marketplace, this is why you should use me instead of the other 85,000 realtors. You got all that, you got your cover art, you got your logo, now you can put that all up there, right? Okay, next.
Pinterest. A lot of people don't take advantage of this. Pinterest is actually pretty huge in a lot of different areas. So that's a really interesting thing. That'll set you apart from most agents. I don't think most of them have Pinterest account. Put pictures on there and a lot of things.
Pinterest, great kind of secret fishing hole type of place. Like LinkedIn, tons of organic reach. You'd be surprised how many people pin, female decision makers for home buying and family atmospheres. A great place to post content for free without paying for it. Get a ton of free reach. Great secret fishing hole, I think of it.
And then Eventbrite is great because, like for example, we do a lot of events, and it's a good way to check people in, and it's another place to reach potential people. We do like our first-time home buyers. That's on Eventbrite. All these marketing needs that we do are on Eventbrite. Our mixers, But Realtor, lots of events, and that's, once again, another place to have your profile, your information on, and you can create all these events.
Does anybody here, have done events? Well, I'll count, let's throw in open houses. Have you hosted your own open house or home buyer seminar or anything like that? Anybody? Okay. A few? Okay, I'm very bullish when we get to the third part about lead generation. I'm very bullish on events for you guys to generate your own leads. And Eventbrite is sort of the gold standard of event management. It's free. They make their money on paid events. We're not doing paid events, we're doing free ones like this one. And it's really good for managing people checking in, like we did you guys, for emailing people. Emailing is a big problem now, deliverability, with Google owning most of the email filters now in Gmail. They've made it more and more difficult to get a bulk email actually seen by people at the other end. It's the average right now is in the single digits or percentage. So I got like a less than 10% chance if I send a bulk email out to someone through Constant Contact or MailChimp, unless you opted in to a list and you're a hot lead, you got less than a 10% chance of that person even seeing that email. With LinkedIn, that's 100%. Everything gets delivered. The deliverability is awesome. It's really good. Excuse me, Eventbrite. What did I say? I said LinkedIn. I meant Eventbrite. Next up.
Real estate portals. So obviously you guys all know about Realtor.com and Zillow and Trulia. What's really important, you don't have to be paid to have a profile. These are gonna come up on almost any search. It's critical to have all your information on all of them. Zillow and Trulia are kind of together now, but the fact is that even if you don't pay to advertise with them or buy leads from them, it's critical to have all your information in there, going back to all this stuff. Make a parody, and that's going to come up on searches every time. Very important.
We're going to let Armando go a little more in depth on this. He discovered a lot of these. He uses a lot of these. I think we were on the drive on the way over here, and he was telling me about an effective agent lead that he had. He's going to tell you more about that. We're going to skip over that. But the big takeaway here is that this is sort of a block and tackle, a defensive maneuver. I don't think of it really as a lead generator, but more of, if somebody Googles me, Steve Majeski, Miami Realtor, there's a search page that comes up. I want to make sure that I'm pushing down all the Zillow and everybody else, and for that, I'm owning that page. I call it search engine results.
And when they do search for you, you're going to come out. If you have one of these, that's going to come out. Then the Zillow one's going to come out. They're all going to come out. So like I said, it's going to push basically everything else down. And they're going to say, wow, this guy's all over the place. He's on all these websites. He's on all. And like you said, Armando's going to go into that. It's also very important to have those stats.
Well, good point. Because you're going to get Google when you go to do a listing presentation. You walk out the door, or even before you get in the door, the first thing you're going to be doing is Googling you. So you got to really pay attention to what shows up on that search engine results page, the Google page.
And then it's all current. A lot of times, I was just noticing today, I've been putting 15 years real estate experience. I'm almost at 20 now. So you got to keep on top of that. Sometimes you might want to tweak it, change a few words here and there. Maybe you change your niche a little bit or your area. That's also really important to, over time, kind of go over it and look into it and make sure that everybody has the same information.
Okay, so fundamentals. We got our creative assets. We did all our social media accounts. We did our block and tackle with our real estate portals to check all those boxes. And next, we need to set up our CRM.
All right, so your CRM, you're going to have to set up the profile. Obviously, all CRMs are very similar. We have one that we use with Brokernation, but they're all very similar. And once again, it's very important to have your profile set up in there. The next most important step is this one: import your contacts. You might have 1,000 contacts on your phone. You can extract them from your phone or from Google, from wherever you have them. You should sort them into different, which I think we're going to get into a little later on in the presentation, different groups. And then that's going to help you to really be able to direct the traffic from your CRM or from your lead generation to the right people so they can get the maximum out of it. Correct? All right.
So low-hanging fruit, right? To me, I think a lot about a short-term strategy and a long-term strategy when it comes to branding. Branding is more of a long-term strategy, but everybody needs short-term strategies to bills, get some money, get some quick sales, get some quick closing tables. People you know, selling to people you know. This isn't anything new. Everybody knows this, right? Your SOIs, they're all in here. Most of the people, I've worked with a lot of you guys to do this, and most of the people in your SOI is in this thing. So I've worked with you guys to dump your phones. iPhone's a little trickier. iPhone makes everything trick. Androids are much, much easier. But dump your phone and your email. We'll see your Gmail account and your phone has all your contacts. We're going to get into this a little bit more. I think I got some slides. We're going to go deeper into this, but real important to get those contacts out of your phone and into your CRM. We're going to talk about that more.
It's important. Something that I never learned back in the day was how important a lot of these contacts you make. I wish I would have kept so many agents that I work with, their information, or even past clients. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but maybe a couple years down the line, you never know. Maybe you're in front of them. And I just talked to the guy who got me into real estate 18 years ago. He was an appraiser, and I posted something on Facebook. He popped up and said, "Hey, I see you doing a lot of stuff on Facebook. I'm looking to buy a house." You never know what's going to come. An 18-year-old lead, basically, and it became somebody who's now currently working. So, you want to go ahead and go over stage gating?
Stage gating is, we're going to talk more about this in the CRM part, but stage gating is stages of the sale. It starts in cold, we warm it up. We start by just trying to get attention, then we try to generate interest, get some kind of desire, get some action, that's AIDA. We're trying to move them down the funnel. We're going to talk more about the funnels. But stage gating is just stages of the sale, from cold to warm to hot. And all CRMs are built on this basic principle of stages of a funnel. So it's important that you understand that, and that when we dump all of our contacts in there, we're going to talk more about this, we segment them number one, and we stage gate them number two. As we're working them, we're going to move them from one stage to the next.
Setting up search alerts, we're all very familiar with this on MLS. Obviously, somebody's looking for a particular area, particular size of house, particular price range, but also in your CRMs, you can set up something like this, where we can also send emails. So sometimes people, MLS, I think it's more specific to one person, but a lot of times, if you have these segmented correctly, your contacts, you might have a group of people that are looking in a particular area, or maybe just they need a nudge. And setting up a search alert is really great to do that in a group setting, as opposed to MLS, which is very one-on-one.
Does everybody know what we mean by search alerts, listing alerts, property alerts? You guys are all familiar with this idea, right? When something new comes, it's dynamic. When something new comes in, once I set it up with some criterion, then when something changes, I can email or text you as a potential buyer or seller. Real powerful, and if it's done right, it's great. It's a great lead magnet. It makes you look like you're on top. You're serving your audience, and you're giving them information that they can get exclusively from you. Smart campaigns, different CRMs. By the way, going back to the search alerts, most good CRMs have it. If your CRM doesn't have it, to me, that's a litmus test for a good CRM or not a good CRM. I've learned that those search alerts are a big deal. Some don't have it, and you got to do it in your email or something like that. But the best CRMs are the ones that I like are the ones that plug directly into your website and your MLS, and they're dynamic. And the CRM is pulling housing information, listing information directly from the MLS. It's talking to the MLS live. Okay. If your CRM doesn't do that, you might want to question your CRM with your broker. Chime does it, or KV Core does it, which we use. Property Base does it. A lot of them now do that. It's pretty standard, but I know there's some that don't. To me, that makes it a little more difficult to create these sort of emails. Smart campaigns. All CRMs call this something different, but this is really, I don't like to use the word drip. That's become sort of a dirty word, but drip marketing. This is where you automate touch points going forward. And nowadays, it's not just emails, it's text and scheduling phone calls for the future. So KB Core, for example, they call them smart campaigns, and we can schedule the next 120 days, or I think a year out. And it's behavioral based. They can tell if something changed or you moved, or the person went on your website, or they responded back to you. The system can tell and then respond.
That's also part of behavioral automation, where basically you're telling the system based on certain parameters do certain things. So for example, if someone clicks on a particular property a couple times, the system could reach out to them, hey, you wanna view this property? There's a lot having to do with behavioral automation, but I think that's kind of the simple.
Yeah, I don't want to get too hung up on behavioral automation. That's something that most of you don't really, get involved with. A good CRM that will kind of run in the background, and somebody will set it up for you. But the big takeaway with your CRM is you should definitely have your profile all set up and locked up, just like with your LinkedIn profile and all the other ones. You gotta get all your contacts into the CRM in an organized way. Very important. That's going to be a real pipeline for your leads. And then the other stuff is kind of important, but the search alerts are just a great, free, easy lead magnet. Okay, next up is
IDX website. So a lot of the websites that we have, a lot of them are offering IDX, which is basically the fact that you're trying to go into the website and do searches on their own. Sometimes we send them something and that's not what they're looking for whatever reason, or that's what they think they wanted, but then they see something else. So a lot of times it's good to give them the ability to do those searches themselves, because it maybe brings them into a different direction, and they find, oh, you know what, turns out I don't mind townhouses, or I wouldn't mind looking at this type of property, and it helps out me too. Also, when it ties in with your CRM, it's very powerful tool to keep reaching out to. Once again, we see profile as well, which you can see it's keeps coming back and forth on all of these. MLS ID listing.
that's just you got to make sure you get the right MLS ID in there, and if it's set up correctly, then it will show the listing. Whatever listings you have will show on your website.
No, you have to put in your ID number, or it can't access your MLS.
Photos should come from here.
Exactly.
The cover photos we talked about for Realtor.com and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter, that should all be here.
And then the area search, that's pretty self-explanatory. The Facebook pixel install, that's pretty interesting, something I'm learning how to do now. It's kind of where you search for something on one website, and then all of a sudden you're in Facebook and hey, what, that sweater tag, the one that I looked at. So this helps you kind of track people what they're doing. And in our particular field, it's if they're looking at a particular type of property, it'll kind of follow them, and it gives you feedback on what they're looking for, which helps your CRM target them better in terms of what you're going to be sending.
So a lot of this stuff you guys kind of do is kind of self-explanatory, but none of the realtors I work with ever have the Facebook pixel installed. Most of you don't even know what it is. And this is a good tip. You guys should all circle that like 3 or 4 times and put a big asterisk next to it. Because I'm trying to get all of our realtors doing retargeting, or next to that, right, retargeting. Because that's something that your competitors are not doing. The fact that you guys are not doing it, in a way, to me is kind of good, because none of the realtors are out there doing it. So that means you can. You've got a leg up, you've got a competitive advantage. Retargeting, the reason you want to do this pixel, for those of you that don't know what that is when you go to Amazon or any e-commerce site and you see a cool jacket that you like or something and you put it in your cart, but you don't buy it, you change your mind, you walked away, you got a phone call, something happened. But you go back and on that same computer or even on your phone, you see that same jacket, ads for it popping up everywhere you go for the next 120 days, right? That's retargeting. Because they dropped a pixel on your browser that's a tracker that's now following you around the web. It's free, you guys can all do it. All websites have a pixel. The way I explain it to people is usually, you know how in the movies, like an action movie, where the good guy meets the bad guy, he's a bad guy now. And they're talking, and then he goes like this, and he puts a tracker on the bad guy's lapel. And then he rushes back to the car and pulls out something, he's tracking him around town. That tracker is the Facebook pixel. You're dropping a tracking pixel on the browser of your site visitors, people that are coming to your website. This only happens on your website or your social media profile or your website, because of course you have to control it, right? So it's an easy thing to set up on your own website. This is my mission, is to get all of you guys doing this, making custom audiences out of it, and then remarketing it to people. And when you do it right, you look what we call omnipresent. You look like you're always there, you're following people around. Very effective, very powerful. It's done the right way. You're not too much of a annoyance and a pest. When we get into the third part about lead generation and branding, I use that the name of the game is to make content that's relevant and useful and people actually want, not bothered.
Quick question back here. My quick question is, are we gonna have that feature on the new website that we're gonna have on the new CRM that we're gonna have?
Yes, by the way, all websites have the ability to drop a pixel. It's a common thing. It's not just one CRM has it, or one does, or one doesn't. They all do. Most people just don't know about it, and they don't do it. It's just a little snippet of code that you drop into the head of all the pages of the website. And it's pretty standard, actually. Most people just don't know about it and don't do it, and if they do it, they don't use it effectively. Okay.
So we touched on this before, getting all your contacts into your CRM for the search engine optimization. Very important to sort them.
Deep dive on this.
All right, so these are just some suggestions. They're actually pretty good. Some people might want to have this a little more granular, but the basic you want to have is friends and family, other realtors, past clients, contractors and vendors, cold contacts. So obviously friends and family is pretty self-explanatory. Some people actually split that into two different fields. Maybe they want to treat their family a little different from friends, which is fine. And like I said, you're going to have your own way that you want to do this. Other realtors is great if your company does a lot of, like we do a lot of recruiting. We're building our company, so that's something really important, because you're not going to want to send them stuff like, oh, buy your house with me or things like that. But you might want to invite them to an event, a training or a networking event or an open house, things of that sort. They would be appropriate. You want to be able to filter them out so they're getting the appropriate content. They're probably insulted if you send them something like, hey, buy your house with me. Past clients, that's something that's often overlooked. These are people you've worked with, you have a good relationship with them. Just because they bought a house with you a few years back or sold a house with you a few years back, hey, on average, people sell houses less than every 10 years. So it's good to reach out to them. Plus, great source for referrals. If you're in front of them and, hey, I just remember my aunt, she's looking to buy a house, you did great, you helped me out a lot. But guess what? If you're not in front of them, if you're not sending them information, they're going to forget. The attention spans are very short. So it's really important, really good place to get more referrals, especially if you had a great transaction with them. Contractors and vendors, same thing. It's very specific what kind of things you want to send them, but if they're separated out, then you can target them however you feel like you need to. And then cold contacts, these are people that maybe you worked with in the past, maybe didn't get to a closing, but they might still be looking. I've had people actually, oh, well, I decided to go a different direction, and then that didn't work out, and they come back to you. You never know. You gotta keep them also, and put them on a drip campaign or something like that. But once you get all these types of contacts set up, that's what's gonna start off your funnel. And that's we're gonna go a little further where they go from.
Okay, so before we move off of this slide, everybody's on board with what we're doing now, right?
Yes.
Visually, we want to get your SOI, your sphere of influence, and you can get 2 or 3 or 4, or I think I got 4,000 or 5,000 in my phone because I've had it for 12 years. But they're all in here. So this is assuming we got them out of here. Most of you have iPhones in Miami. So you gotta go to iCloud.com. You gotta log into iCloud.com with your username and password. You probably forgot it. You gotta recover the password. I've done this 100 times for you guys. Okay? You gotta go to the iCloud, and when you do, you go to contacts, and you can Google it. I don't want to get too in the weeds with that, but it's pretty easy. Like anything else, Google or YouTube, they'll show you how to do it. But you're gonna get the contacts out of here, and you're gonna get the your Gmail account is probably on here too, right? Your email. So you're gonna dump your phone. I call it dumping the phone. You're gonna export all the contacts out of your phone, and that's gonna give you all the names and phone numbers. And then you're gonna dump your email contacts, and that's gonna give you all the names and emails. And if you put them together, now you got first name, last name, or some kind of name. Most people don't separate the first name. It looks pretty messy. But you got name, email, phone numbers.
By the way, he keeps saying phone. You might have these contacts in your Google, separately, your Google email. You might have them in, like, say, MailChimp or, what's the other one? Constant Contact.
Constant Contact is
So,
another one, yeah.
Right, and the point is to build this database up. Like I said, I wish someone had told me a bunch of years ago that how important these contacts were gonna be. I just didn't even worry about it, and now I'm regretting it because these are all people I could be putting into my funnel and could be potential.
So you get the idea with that. So then, this slide is just showing that once we get them all out, we're gonna put them into we're gonna open it up in a spreadsheet, and we're gonna categorize them all into five or 6 or 7 categories. When I work with, this is the first thing I have realtors do when I work in smaller mastermind groups with some of our people, is do this exercise. So I'll dump our phones, so I'll dump our email, what else you got? Constant Contact, get them all out. Ideally, put them all together, and then what I get is, oh, Steve, I don't know how to put them together. I'm not good with spreadsheets. Most of us aren't good with spreadsheets. No problem. I had one guy, I didn't even have to tell him, went to Fiverr, and he got somebody to aggregate them all together for $15 on Fiverr. So that shouldn't stop you from merging all your contacts together. Very simple, Fiverr.com.
And new agents, this is the number one thing we do. This is your first deal part.
So what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you in a minute, but we're gonna put them all into buckets. So I imagine 5 buckets. We got them all our leads laid out on the floor. We'll put all of them into these 5 buckets. By the way, they can be in more than one bucket. I get that question all the time. And the 5 buckets that we kind of started with, and we can expand from there, is these are the 5 that we usually start with. Friends and family, realtors, past clients, contractors and vendors, and cold contacts, which is everybody else. You're gonna have a whole bunch of people in your phone that you know who they are. I don't know how they end up there. I get that all the time. So I just wanna make sure we're all on board with that before we move on to the next stuff and get too in the weeds. So these are the basic ones, and I just wanted to show you how, as I've worked with realtors on our smaller groups, I realized that a lot of people had organizations. You might want to add that.
Split friends and family.
Some people split friends and family, like you said, yeah. The rest I think are the same. Organizations was a tip that one guy, because he had like Xfinity and the church and the board. It wasn't a cycle club. Right, it wasn't a person. But the idea is we're going to get all of them into here, and then we're going to start talking about. So you heard me use the word funnel. Ray and I both used the word funnel earlier. We're going to get deeper into this idea in the next module, next time. But
This is the foundation.
in marketing, we visualize the process in terms of a funnel. Lead generation especially. We visualize the process as a funnel. We come in the top, and they get worked down through stages, and then start with a lot, end up with a little. That's okay. Next, when you dump your phone, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to get a spreadsheet, and then you're going to be like, okay, Steve, how do I put them all in these buckets then? And you're going to make. Here, what I did was this was someone's actual. Please don't steal anywhere. I put the leads from this spreadsheet. What it was. But I screen captured it. I turned it into a table, made it look pretty with the colors and everything. It's a couple of clicks, I know how to do this. This is the way that I like to look at data. But I made a column, and then I started plugging in a word or a hashtag for each one of those things that we just did on the last slide, right? And once you do it once, you're going to just type CO and then cold contact will come up with the rest of them. So the homework that I give to our mastermind group, that I now give to all of you guys, get all the contacts into a spreadsheet and do this.
Well, what is it that you're doing there in that center column?
This one says group membership.
Okay, good question. Does anybody, can anybody see what I did here with the spreadsheet? It's hard to see.
Full name, first name, middle name, last name, the hashtags, which is super important. This is a little bit more information on what they are.
Can you explain a little bit about the hashtag part? What is it that you're putting on there?
Oh, so realtor, cold contact, organization, friends, the buckets that we were talking about earlier. Exactly.
So all I really did was I made a spreadsheet out of all that stuff, okay? When you dump it, quote unquote dump it out of the phone or out of your contacts, your email, it's gonna be a CSV file. CSV is comma separated variables. It's basically a spreadsheet. You can open it in Excel. If you don't have Excel, you can open it in Google Sheets, which is free, okay? I like Excel, but this is Excel that you're looking at here. I made a table out of it to make it look pretty, like I said. And basically all I did was I opened it up and I made a column, another column. I said, create a new column. This blue column right here is a new column I made. And in that column, I started typing out the word for each of those different buckets that we made. No space, one word, because in some systems they don't allow spaces for hashtags. Like in KB4, for example, it's having to use hashtags in segmentation. So I knew that it doesn't like spaces, so I didn't use it. That's not so important. What's most important is that each one of these is tagged. It doesn't have to be a hashtag, it could be a word, a tag, call it whatever you want. It's tagged with a word or tag that defines this row as one of those segments that we just agreed on in the slide before.
They should all have this one, at least one
One of these. So I took one of these words and I put it in here on each row going across with each person.
Yeah, this one's not finished.
It's not finished yet, I did a few just to show. So the homework for this person was I gave this back to him and I said, there you go. He's got to do it. That's his homework to do all the rest of those. Once he gets all those done, now we got our segments. Now we can make campaigns and do marketing to each one of those segments much more intelligently, spend our media dollar more intelligently, and get to the closing table quicker. Develop a relationship more relevant. A lot of things, a lot of advantages. You gotta segment those. Is everybody good with that? Can I move on? Any questions about that? Okay. So next, the foundations of a lead funnel. So I just alluded to the fact that from here on out, we're going to start talking about the funnel. Funnel this, funnel that. Because marketing people talk a lot about a funnel. It's this idea of a lot of lead generation happening at the top, leads coming in, and then the stage is here, and it gets lot in, queue out. And this is your CRM. This is the process of continuously developing a relationship over time through stages. And it looks something like this. It starts with awareness. These are the stages that we talked about. There's some different models, but it looks something like awareness or attention. You should call the A at the top. First thing you gotta do is let them know who you even are. You gotta capture attention. And we're gonna talk a lot in module 3 about how to do that. How you're gonna go out and capture attention. The same way Zillow or Bold Leads or anyone else gets to the consumer and captures attention. The kind of attention that you want, hopefully. Because that generates a higher quality. Then you gotta generate some interest, consideration. Somewhere in here in the middle of the funnel is the trust building processes. The part where you develop a relationship and you got attention, they know who you are, but now you gotta make them trust you. You do that by giving more than you receive. That's the way that I teach our realtors. Awareness, interest, consideration, intent. I'm just reading these for the people in the back of the room. You can't see it, but you get the idea. It's moving people through stages of the purchase cycle, from beginning to end. And at the bottom, it says close. Okay, in your CRM, there's going to be something that looks like this. This is our CRM that we use right now, KD4, and I went to our CRM, and filtered it, and this is the way that KD4 defines the funnel. When I look at this, I see a funnel. And everybody starts out as a sphere, and then we want to move to the next stage, which is a prospect, and then move to the next stage, which is a new lead, Now they held up their hand, they're interested in something, then we move them to an active lead, there's some engagement, something's happening, then we're serving them, then we're moving them to a client, it's all the contracting phase, or, well, I should say, client, then contract, then close. Okay, actually the client is kind of down here, that's a little bit out of order. You get the idea. Each one of these, and in any CRM that you guys use, somewhere in there is these stages. This is a fundamental concept that all CRMs are built on, a stage gate. Stages of the funnel, moving down the funnel through stages. And they call the stages different things, but it's real important that everybody understands that moving forward to the next line. Okay? Any questions about that? Pretty self-explanatory? Right. So we just talked about that. Unless there's any questions, I'm going to skip over that. But the one that we really that I wanted to call out here is lead capture. Okay, this is actually this blue stage right here, and this is after the first step in regeneration is to get attention. I'm going to skip over that. There's a lot of ways we can create attention through lead magnets and creating content and using the search engines and social media and things like that. But I wanted to talk for a minute about, this is a fundamental concept, and it's fundamental in all of our setup as we move to the next stages, which is if and when we do get attention, we get somebody that's interested and is a potential lead, we have to capture them. So we have to have landing pages. All CRMs have the ability to either make landing pages or connect to a landing page that they can make. And the idea here is this is our KD4. It has landing pages and squeeze pages are pretty similar type of things, but it has the ability to create a page with an offer, a headline, in this case a headline, a subhead, and bullet points, but you have to have a way to capture the leads. When I say lead capture, I'm talking about form elements or something like this. It's something you have to capture.
So this, and this is in addition to obviously all the context you provide from George. This is for new leads. So if they're putting in their email and cell phone, once they click this, boom, they're in your CRM. That's another lead. It's going to be hashtag based on how you set this up, so you know where it came from, and that's another bucket. It's ready to go. You're ready to punch into that.
Good point. This is new leads coming in, and this is part of our fundamentals. Remember, this whole class is about foundations. We have to think at this stage before we go any further about how we're going to capture leads. So all of you use different systems. If you're on KD4, you can do this, make a landing page, you can use these pages. IDX web pages have this gate built into it. So that's the one that pops up. It says please register. Okay, that's lead capture. So that's kind of our approach. I have to make sure that you have some kind of lead capture mechanism in place.
And it's important to have something you can offer. We talked about the buyer's guide and the seller's guide. That's something that you could offer here. If you want to give them a reason to click, can you put, if you enter your cell, we'll text you cool stuff. Whatever that is, whatever you're offering them, whatever you're giving them, information, photos, video, any kind of information you want to put in something like this because you want them to have a reason to give you their, if not, they're just not going to do it. But he was talking about the gates, that's a pretty cool thing too. Sometimes with the IDX, they could be in the website, you're looking at a property. Ours is set up, I think, after they click on the third property, it prompts them, hey, you want some more information? Go ahead and put in your info, because you want that. It's great to have them on your website and looking at stuff, but ultimately, if you don't capture that lead so you can use it and put it into your machine to make you more leads and more money and get them to closing, it's not really helping you much. And that's the problem with a lot of these websites that we have. I don't remember how much I paid for my website. It doesn't capture anybody. So what's the point? This is key. This is critical. Once you get their info, now you can start reaching them, now you can start targeting them, and now you can get them to close.
Is there anybody here that does not have an IDX website? Oh, good. Everybody, so we're on the same page. So this comes out of the box, right? You guys all seen this? The form that pops up that says please register to continue.
They don't have it. A lot of them have the search function, but they don't capture it. And that's the critical. Well, capture means anything that's going to get their email and phone number ideally and their name.
Landing page in this case, this came out of our CRM, KD4, yes, this one. So if you have KD4, this is baked right into it.
And this is actually the page that he's preparing it. And it gives you different, you can change all this information, the background picture, you can ask for, here's the cell phone option, you can make it require it, and you can hashtag it so that it sorts it. Because maybe you have one for sellers, maybe you have one for a particular property, you want it to be able to distinguish where this lead came from so you can properly route it to your site.
Okay, so
I mentioned that a little bit, so you want to give it something.
you alluded to the fact that, right, we talked about lead capture, that's basically the form return, the key piece of information we're usually trying to capture is name, email, phone number. Now, we got that, we can call them, we can email them, we can put them on grids, we can put them on property alerts, we can stay in contact with them, develop a relationship. But how do you get that? How do you get somebody to give up their name, email, and phone number? I don't want to give my email, my name, email, phone number to anybody. If I do, you better offer me something good. What's in it for me? Why am I giving this? Well, the reason is you need some data. And that's where we need to create content. We create what we call lead magnets. That's the seller buying guide, the buyer's guide, the seller's guide. We're going to talk a lot more about lead magnet ideas when we get to the lead generation. There's lots of different ways. KD4 has something called swing pages built into it. All CRMs can pretty much do this, which is basically a search that you save and package and put out on social media or in an ad. Gets people to kind of exchange their information. But it's this idea of creating something that you offer in return for what you're really selling is you're trying to get name, email, number. That's what we're selling. Not selling a house yet, not selling a deal. We're just trying to offer them something that is an easy get, and you can give them something easy and ask them for something easy. Your name, email.
Remember, this is what some of you are paying Zillow for, or you paying Realtor.com for, to get that name and number, or you might be giving a referral for. You're listening to, in addition to all those things you may be doing, also be getting more of that. Because ultimately, the more leads you get coming in, the more people you're going to be able to contact and possession.
Most of the realtors I work with sort of pay other people for leads. They pick up leads wherever they can, from all over the place, different areas, different sources. If you want to learn how to make your own leads, develop your own leads in your own pipeline, you came to the right place. So we're going to talk about this. We talked about we need lead magnets. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I want to introduce this idea. It's really important for going forward. Okay, next.
So the A is ACD is audience. You need to know who you're going to be targeting.
Let's just frame up what it is that we're talking about again. For those of you that have worked with me already, you've heard me talk about this over and over and over again. I want to introduce this, plug this, because this is going to be a lot of the foundation of what we're talking about going forward also. This isn't something that is a model that's out there, like regular organization on it. This is like the single model, right? This is like it's the way that I think as a marketing person. So I want to introduce this concept now. So that's what this ACD is. So that being said, so what I'm going to say, go ahead.
A is for audience. It's very important to know who you're going to make this content for, or this information for, so that you can target them specifically. That goes back to the hashtags. If you're going to send a realtor information on, that you want to sell their house, that's not going to the right audience. So it's very, very important to know who your audience is and be able to make content for them. Secondary, obviously, go ahead.
I just want to say real quick that coming from the ad agency world, the branding world, the marketing world, this to me is the biggest thing that I noticed that the realtors don't think about enough is starting with the audience and working your way backwards. So a lot of realtors that I work with sort of take leads from wherever, do a little of this, do a little of that, take it from up north and Broward. Sometimes I got some guys in the Keys do this, and some investors over here, some home buyers over there. Should I do a home buying seminar? Should I do that? All of those questions can be answered. People ask me this, what about strategy? to me, it always comes back to understanding your audience. You know, in my world, we spend an inordinate amount of time going deep on researching the category, the segment, the audience, the not only demographics, it used to be demographics, now it's all psychographics. It's about understanding your audience's worldview, what they're thinking, why they want what they want, why they want to live here instead of over there. You know, what they like about the community or don't like about that community. All kinds of things going really deep on your audience. So I would encourage everybody to put a lot more thought into this part first, because everything else, to me, flows from that. And that's how you build a brand. You don't build a brand by making a logo. You don't build a brand anymore by, you know, blasting it out there on, you know, broadcasting it to the world. You don't make a brand by repeating the same thing over and over. You make a brand by understanding your audience really, really, really well. And the audiences nowadays have been atomized and fragmented by the internet. Instead of going big mass market, it's become a billion micro markets. So if you can define your micro market, like the one we talked about with the, you know, and some of you have talked about with your own audience in one-on-one, it's going to be much easier to build a brand around that. Then everything kind of, you know, falls right like dominoes in the other modules we're going to talk about. So I can't say enough about that.
It's talking about putting yourself in their shoes. You want to kind of try to see what they're looking at. What would I want if I was this consumer? It's very important. A lot of people miss that point. So once you know your audience, you can create content for that audience. And that is also critical, because if you're just creating everything generic, once again, it was like the example I gave before. You want to send another realtor for selling their house. So once the critical part is knowing this audience, and then you can create content for it. That's, I think, one of the more time-consuming ones, in the sense that you are constantly trying to create this. There's a lot of systems out there that we use, and that you can get to help you and to make it easier, to streamline it, to maybe pump it out to different avenues. Like I said, I use Ripple and a couple of other ads, a couple of other managers that you create one piece of content and then send it to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these different things to help free up time. Another thing that we talk about a lot is, say you do a video, you can close caption it, then you can strip that out and put it in a blog, or do different things like that. So you try to maximize your time in terms of when you're doing something, make sure or try to make it something that you can cut up and use it for different things. Right?
Yes. And this again is something that real estate agents don't really think about. When I say content, most realtors tell me about the canned content services that will, you know, every month they'll send out a newsletter, they'll send out an infographic, they'll send out a buyer's guide, they'll send out these articles about how to prepare your home for selling, how to listicles, how to do this, how to do that. They're always canned and they're always generic and they always look like everybody else's because they use them for everybody else's. What I tell our realtors to do is figure out a way to put a spin on that and make it uniquely your own. That's how you build your brand. Okay. And there's techniques we're going to talk about in the third module, how to generate your own leads, where you can do some easy peasy, take a few minutes, make a piece of content like a squeeze page. I love the squeeze pages because that's an easy way to make a piece of content that you can do in 2 minutes. Put it out on your social media, or put it out on Facebook, put a little money, put $10 behind it. Now you got content out in the world to a specific audience. So that, don't be just, you know, over intimidated by that word, but that is a really important concept to understand. The idea of making content, your own branded content, not having somebody else make the content for you, put it out the way you look like everybody else. You want to build a brand, you want to be unique, you want to differentiate yourself from the other 85,000 realtors in South Florida. You gotta make something different. You gotta make yourself different. And then distribution.
Well, it's basically the avenue that you're using to send it out. So your CRM, other distribution methods, social media, YouTube, different things like that are what's going to help get all of those to going to your office.
Right. So to me, when I look at this, I always think, okay, this is the part where I got to do a lot of thinking. There's not a lot of like physical work to the stuff, but I'm putting a lot of mind work into that. I'm doing research and doing my homework. I'm thinking about it. You know, the the last thing before I go to bed at night or in my car on the way home. I'm thinking about this stuff. Content is the heavy lifting. That's the chopping wood, carrying water. That's the, you know, to me, the work part. And the distribution, when I get to that part, then it becomes like, I mean, this to me is the easiest part of the whole thing. We have access to most of the corners of the planet through the internet and two main platforms, Facebook and Google. So this is the easy part. We spoke a lot about this already. These are some content pieces that you can make to attract sellers, to attract buyers, to attract listings, and for recruiting. These are things that you might have in your link tree. These might be squeeze pages. These are some easy peasy. I talked about giving you guys some easy peasy content ideas, and this is that. This is things that anybody can do. You guys kind of already are doing. You're probably not thinking about how to make it, put a spin on it, make it your own.
And these are basics. Obviously, there's other things you can do to add to this and to implement to it, but these are the basics that you're gonna be.
Sellers, home valuation tool. What's my home worth? Buyers, the squeeze page, the property search, pretty standard. I put the listings, squeeze me board. This is really listings from other agents in your brokerage you usually have access to. And then this is your recruiting page on the CRM. I'm starting to run out of time, but the final two pieces of the puzzle are advertising with Facebook, and we're going to advertise on Google. And we're going to talk more about that in the lead generation part, the third part, so I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but if you do all the things we talked about up front with this stuff, the final piece of the puzzle is we already talked about setting up the Facebook. That's Google My Business, business.facebook.com. And Google is a little bit trickier. That's ads.google.com. Just all write that down. Ads.google.com. If you go to ads.google.com, while you're logged into your Gmail, that's how you set up the system to advertise on Google. It's free to set up, and practice with that. Yeah, because when you log in with your Gmail, you log in with your Google account. And all the advertising is tied to your Google account.
Another big thing is I have ratetherealtor@gmail.com. Google offered me, I think, for like $12 a year to give me that domain. And then with that, you can get the website, you can get a personalized email, and things of that sort. So Google, everything ties together so well, and that's why we're saying it's critical. It's important to have a Google account, and then it gives you a lot of options.
So that's basically it. We went all the way down this list in front of you guys. You got your homework. If you do all these foundations, treat that piece of paper in front of you like a checklist. And I was literally checking it off and crossing it off with a pen. And I see you get together in the conference room, get together in groups to do this with a friend or a buddy. And we'll be all set for module 2. Here. Next week in North Miami. You got 2 weeks to do your homework. Any questions before I turn it over to the next part of this, where Armando's going to talk about it from the realtor side, the real estate side. We talked about this from the marketing side. Now Armando's going to talk about this from the real estate side. Armando, thank you. Good morning.
Good
What are you guys
morning.
saying?
Easy.
Let's hear it for Ray. Ray, great job.
So, good morning. My name is Armando Romero, and I want to thank you guys for coming. Like Steve said, he is a digital marketer. He looks at things in digital marketing. I've been in the business for 30 years, and I look at things from, as a realtor. So him and I make an incredible combination because as a realtor, when I started back in 1989, the business has changed. Today, being a realtor or a self-employed individual where you're in the mortgage business, or you're selling insurance, you have to be a marketing expert, right? The business has changed so much that you need to, if you're a good marketer, you're going to be a good agent. If you don't know how to market yourself, you're not going to be as good. You may do some deals, people may refer you business, but you're not going to be effective. You're not going to be able run through this real quick. I started in '89. I got involved in the mortgage business. That became my primary book of business. So from 1995 all the way to 2015, all I did was mortgages and commercial real estate. I did 0 residential business. And I think it's important that I say that because you're gonna see things that I'm doing today, where I'm selling $12 million a year in real estate, and it's not something to brag, it's just what I'm doing today. And you may say, well, he's been doing it for 30 years. And the truth is, I've only been doing it for 4. Okay? Because when I came back in the business in 2016, pretty much I was out of it. You know, I had no idea how to do residential real estate. So quickly, I learned that I needed to develop. I had to build my story. And what am I gonna do? I've been out of the business. I looked at other agents working out there. They got all these fancy websites. They're doing all this Facebook ads. They're doing all these things. And I come into the business in 2016. And the first thing that I thought about is I need to build a business. I gotta build a foundation. Okay, in any business, you gotta build a foundation. And I think what's important, if you learn something today, it's a foundation, it's not something that you build when you only start. This is the way I look at it. People say, well, I'm gonna start a business, let me build a foundation. A foundation is something that I'm building all the time. Okay, because you may be in the business 10, 15 years. If you're building it here and your foundation is bad, you're gonna crumble, right? So I'm constantly working on 3 things, okay? Number 1, build a network. Okay? Build a brand. And constantly educating myself. Training and tools. Those are the 3 things that come to me that I need to build my business. Okay? When I started in 2016, I had no brand. You know, I was known as a mortgage guy who did commercial real estate, worked on high-end stuff, but I wasn't doing residential real estate. So what did I need to do? I needed to communicate that to my network. I needed to build my network. That was the first thing. I had to create a brand. I just came from the next door, and I just created a logo called the Miami Broker. I have a website called the Miami Broker. Okay, which is pretty cool website. MiamiBroker.com. When Steve and I go, let's check it out, and we look, it's available. No way, nobody has the Miami Broker. Boom, and I got it. This was like 6 months ago, right? No, longer than that, like 8 years ago. That's when I started. So I'm creating a whole campaign on the Miami Broker. And I'm building that because I am noticing that where we live, in the Bal Harbour area, there's a need for a lot. I have some clients that are from out of town. Some have gone to network, some have gone to Zillow, some have gone, and they're like flocks. They come down here and they want to meet somebody that can guide them. They can give them value. They know, what they need to do, where to rent, where to buy. So I want to be known as the Miami Broker. That's a different brand. Okay? So within that, you need to constantly be thinking of growing your business. Okay. The next thing, when I first started, nobody knew me. If you Google Armando Romero Miami Realtor, what came out was, maybe one picture from Realtors.com, and that's it. I had nothing. Okay, so what happened? You go get a listing, and somebody Googles you. If you don't appear in the internet, you're hurting yourself. So the first thing that I realized is the only way that I'm going to be able to create my brand and my business is to have visibility online. When I first started in '89, somebody referred you a client. I pretty much got the listing all the time. I walked in the door and, hey, so-and-so, Ray, hey, Ray, he's the owner. Somebody referred me, Henry referred me because you sold this house. Well, I'll be there on Thursday. I meet with his wife and I walk in and I got signed the listing, I'm done. Same referral today, if Ray was looking to sell his house, he might get somebody, hey, call Armando, but Ray's gonna look me up. Okay, and when he looks me up, he's gonna find all of the interesting stuff. Okay? Not only is he gonna find me, but he's also gonna find companies that are spending millions of dollars to try to lead him in a different direction. I'll get to that in a minute. But the first thing that you need to do as an agent, okay, you need to have relevancy online. I do an event which is on Thursday called the Relevant Realtor. And I get into this stuff more into detail. I don't want to spoil it for you. Those who have signed up on Thursday at the Ritz-Carlton. And that's what I talk about, how to be relevant online, okay? Realtors.com. If there's one thing that you learn here, if you're not doing this, if your profile does not look like this, And believe me, 70 to 90% of the agents that I interview, when I say, what's your name? Henry, whatever, Hernandez. I talk, Henry Hernandez, Miami Realtor. And you know what I see? Blank. No picture, no profile, nothing. Okay? Nobody's ever told them to do that. Nobody's ever told that. What happened to my billboard? Oh, my billboard's gone. Did you? I have a billboard that I do at the Relevant Realtors, like I-95. Imagine if somebody gave you a billboard and I-95 for free. Okay, and this is the billboard. The first thing you see online when you Google Armando Romero or Ray or anybody or Sammy and you Google, you'll see Realtors.com on the first page. Okay, so it's a billboard on I-95. So if I'm a consumer and I'm looking, and when I see, and I go to Sammy's page and it's not filled out, and it has incorrect information, it says that he works at Keller Williams, when he works at Brokernation, he works at EXP, and it's not updated, it tells me something about the agent I'm in business with. Okay? You're getting this for free, you should take advantage. Right? Anybody have Realtor.com? Filled out completely? Who does not have it filled out completely? Alright. The same way, Realtor.com, there are multiple sites. I'm not going to get into this. It talks about, there are multiple sites out there that I get into the Relevant Realtor that you can register. There's companies that spend a ton of money in getting to the consumer first, like companies like Effective Agent, Home Light. These are companies that you can register being an agent for free. Okay, I got a lead this morning from Effective Agents for a listing. I gotta go at 4 o'clock to get that listing. Okay, I'm constantly getting leads from all of these websites that are referring business to me. So if you want to know a little bit, I'm not gonna bore you with that, but sign up for the Relevant Realtor on Thursday and you get more information. Let me tell you a little bit about the company. Very important thing that I learned. If I'm gonna excel in my business or any business or anything you wanna do, you gotta be part of the right team, right? You're surrounded by winners and people who are successful, people that are growing, you're gonna grow yourself, okay? Our company is based on 3 things. Number 1, wanted you to make a ton of money. 100% compensation, okay? Compensation, tools, and training, a big, you gotta constantly learn. I am learning so much. We're right now in the process of switching our CRM system, the KV4 system, to a new system that we're getting that's actually better, okay? I'm constantly looking for ways of improving what we have. Why? Because today in 2020, you need to have those tools. That's what separates the agents from making, $20,000 a year to an agent that has the tools that makes $500,000 a year. Okay? Because you have the same opportunity. Nobody's any smarter. Well, there might be a couple people smarter, but in general, it's not about you need to be smart. You just need to have the right tools. Okay? And the last thing that we offer the agents revenue sharing in our company. An agent, you want to, basically introduce other agents, you have the right, like everybody else, to be like a partner in the company. That's part of the revenue sharing. We give out checks every month to the agents. And this is our office here. We just opened this office in December. We had the grand opening. So Dayland Pulido, he's actually with some clients in the back. He's a broker. You guys met him when he opened up. Done an incredible job. Ray as well, and a lot of the agents that are joining. We started the other day. We're getting close to 30 agents in this office. Okay. Brokernation.events. If you want to write this down, the training that you came to today is a series. Okay, it's 4. I'm sure Steve explained it. But if you go to Brokernation.events, it shows you all the things that we're doing every week, and we have something every week. Like I said, we have a Relevant Realtor we're doing on Thursday. The training series that we're doing is the next 8 weeks. I think it's 8 weeks. One here, one in North Miami. We also have an office in North Miami. And a little bit. That's the Relevant Realtor in the Ritz-Carlton. Beautiful place. I just sold a unit there. They're gonna have an incredible lunch on the water at Miami Beach. So if you just want to go hang out over there and have lunch, I know Realtors love doing that. It's a good place to go. The 101, this is the one you attended today. This is building the brand and the foundations where everything starts. And it's very important, I say it again, you gotta continue to do this. It's not like, I'm gonna build a brand, I'm gonna do this, a foundation, and then I'm done. No, because your brand that you build today may not be good next year. Okay, and that's why the business is quickly changing. You know, a few years ago, you came out, now you can do email blast, now nobody looks at emails. Then you can do texting or whatever, nobody looks at, you can do Facebook, now you gotta do videos. I go, oh, wow, what is it, videos? The business is changing, and now I gotta do videos? So that took me a couple years ago, I'm with Steve, and we're like, you know, first videos were brutal. You know? Not that mine is not, you know, I've gotten used to doing videos more, but at the beginning, I didn't wanna do it. If you wanna be an agent in today's market, you better be doing videos, you better be doing things, you better be active, and do something that is relevant to your audience. Like Stephen Ray was talking about. If you have to know who your people are. You know, if you have a network and those people are buying $400,000 houses and you have a good niche there because you know the people that are, you know, basically they work for whatever, a big place and everybody's doing first time buyer, and those are the people you know, don't be doing videos about $5 million houses at the Ritz-Carlton, because then your network doesn't relate to you. You understand? So you have to understand, where's my audience taking me? Is that something that I gotta do? And relate to that and do that. It doesn't mean that you can't be an expert or something else, or you can't say, well, you know what? I wanna sell $5 million houses at the Ritz-Carlton, but then that's a different campaign. You understand? That's not a network campaign. That's more of a, you know what, I'm gonna create a campaign to try to get to those people. Okay? Automate your real estate in pipeline. Basically, that's what we're just talking about. To be able to automate, and you know, if you do a sale, how to build from that, how to grow your business. Okay? Strategy, generate your own leads. Miami broker, you know, the different things that Steve was talking about. How to build your business and generate by creating a niche. You know, be an expert at something. Don't be just another agent. You know, be an expert at certain buildings, certain areas. And then the last thing that we talk about, number 4, which is something that I wanted to add, I want to make sure that the agents don't forget how to be a realtor. Okay, in today's business, everybody's focused on get the leads, do the marketing, do the branding, and then when the lead comes to you, you have no idea what you're doing. You don't know how to do a sale, you don't know how to do a contract, you don't know how to negotiate, because nobody's working on that anymore. Everybody's focused on a marketing business, and it's not a marketing business alone. Yes, a marketing business to get you the lead to the door. You know, like you open, I always use an example, it's great. You open a restaurant, you advertise, people walk into the restaurant, they eat your food sucks, are they gonna be back? No, you gotta make sure you know what you're doing. This is the last part. How to close the deal, what is your role as an agent? How to follow up and get that deal to make 3 more deals for you. Got it? And I think we're done. Steve, anything else?
No other questions?
Yes. Like you mean like splash pages and stuff like that?
Right.
We're gonna talk about that in module 3, and go deep on that, so be prepared. But most of the landing pages that we talk about are taken to the website and CRM. Core has it, Chime, Property Base, most of these websites, IDX websites all have it. They even have it in the MLS, yes. We're gonna go deep on that in module 3.
Anything else? We're gonna stick around. Thank you so much for coming. I hope that you enjoyed it. Very important. Come to 102. If you came to 101, come to 102, 103. If you finish the series, I guarantee you by the time you're done, you're gonna be a totally different agent. So thank you.
Estamos pasando por un movimiento Y como te digo, el enfoque mío va a ser hacer training. Este mismo estaba hablando con David, quizás podemos ser un grupito más pequeño, o quizás hacer un campo Zoom y hacemos la misma información. Voy a hablar con eso.
Ahí yo hago una cosa.
Sí, sí, no. Y mucho es cosas que una vez que te das cuenta, por ejemplo, mucho que lo que enfocamos en este es estar entrando los websites, tener preparado ya un bio de información suya, fotos, cosas así por el estilo. Y entonces también, por ejemplo, sacar todos los contactos de computadora y ponerle diferentes labels, ¿cómo se dice? Darle diferentes nombres para que sepas qué tipo de información. Por ejemplo, uno quiere mandar a un realtor que quiere vender la casa, pero quizás le quiera mandar tengo un evento y eso hay que poder dividir correctamente toda la información antes de ponerlo en el CRM. Ya todo está listo y una vez que entra, okay, a este grupo mándale esto, a este grupo mándale esto. Y clientes pasados, cosas así por el estilo. Yo voy a hablar vamos a empezar a más pequeño en español, y ya este lo he hecho 2 veces. Y nos vamos a seguir viendo.